Hello, lovely people. Hope you're all good. Just waiting for some more people to join. Looks like we've got a few dropping in right now. We've got some people popping in the chat. Let's have a look. Jibri, hello. Rochelle, hello. Jamie, Zianda, love to know where you guys are calling in from today, whereabouts in the world you are. Let us know. You're on your phone, that's okay, Poppy, you're here, that's all that matters. From Honduras, cool. New York, we've got Germany, Amsterdam, Berlin. Wow, Spain, Seattle, Greece. Oh my God, South Africa, Vegas. Real international bunch here. This is super cool. Love it. We've got some more people joining in now. I think we've got about 80 people on the call and growing, which is super cool. Now, I want to respect those of you who have come here and you're here on time. So I'm going to start fairly promptly. It's midnight here in Bali. I'm wide awake, actually. I've been really excited about this all day. So really excited to be here. Where else have we got? We've got Jewel people, we've got Iowa, North Carolina, Switzerland, Argentina, Albania. Wow. I guess we probably won't have anyone on this side of the world because of the time zones. So it's going to be Europe and the US, but yeah, super cool. Okay, so I am going to kick off. So thank you for those of you who said hello. I really like seeing that people are getting involved in the chat. I'm Michelle, and in the next 60 minutes or over the next 60 minutes, I'm going to show you the exact framework that took me from feeling invisible and desperate in a London corporate office job to building the life that I dreamed of and working remotely from anywhere in the world. And at the moment, that is in Bali. And I'm going to show you how you can do the same thing as well, even if right now it feels impossible. So before we dive in, I want to ask you a quick question. So let me go on the poll here. So drop your answers in the poll. Now it's not let me publish it. That would help. I've published it there. So I'm not asking because I want to make you feel bad. I'm asking because I've been there and I've sent dozens of resumes in the past. I've been ghosted. I've wondered if something was wrong with me. And I know a lot of you, if you're here, you felt the same way. So how many applications would you say you've submitted? Now I'm getting a few answers in there. So the majority at the minute are, wow, over 100. Then we've got 51 to 100. A couple of you have absolutely no idea, and some people have sent 0. So maybe there's an analysis paralysis stage as well, which can definitely happen. Get your answers in. I'm going to end the poll very soon. It's quite interesting, the results, actually. It's a real mixed bag. So a couple more seconds to get some. Okay, I'm going to end the poll there. So really interesting. Over 100 applications, so 25% have sent over 100 applications. Like that's a hell of a lot. Here's what I promise you over the next 60 minutes. By the time this hour is over, you're going to understand exactly why just applying more doesn't work. You're going to know the 3 things that actually matter, and you're going to take the first step that will change everything. So you'll leave here clear on what to do next. And I want to focus as much as on delivering the value as possible throughout this masterclass, so we can get to the questions at the end. So please ensure to drop your questions in the Q&A section. So we've got the chat section, we've got the chat, which you've all been in chatting away, which is awesome. Just to the right of that, there's the Q&A only. So any questions that crop to your mind as you're going through this and you want to ask a bit later, please do add that in the Q&A, and we'll come to that at the end. And just use the chat function as you have been doing already to add any comments, connect with each other as we're going through the presentation. Does that sound good? Can I get a few yes, okay, that you understand? Can we do thumbs up on there? Can you get emojis on there? It's the first time I'm using this tool, so some yeses and things would be awesome to see. Now, while we're getting those through, who is this masterclass really for? Okay, I'm getting the yeses in now. There's a bit of a delay. Awesome. So your time is precious, and I want to ensure that you're not wasting your time on something that isn't relevant for you. So this is absolutely for you if you're a woman over 30 or 30 plus, and you have that dream stirring inside you, that desire to build a new life overseas, supported by a fulfilling remote career. And if you're feeling frustrated with the whole sending applications into a void with what it feels like, and maybe a bit overwhelmed by all the options, and you're ready for a smarter, a more intentional approach, then you are exactly who I created this for. And if you resonate with this life first approach rather than the job first, you're going to get a lot of value out of today. See some hearts in there, which is really nice. So who is this masterclass not for? So this might not be the best fit for you if you are quite happy with your current situation and you're not looking to make a big change. So this probably isn't the best use of your hour. If you're looking for an instant fix or some kind of magic button or silver bullet, this isn't it either. This is about building a real strategy. So this is probably not for you if you're just thinking about working remotely and you're not sure if it's for you. I'm not here to convince you that remote work or living overseas is for you. That's not what I'm here to do. If you're here, it's because you know that that's what you want. So we're all about clarity and action here. So if you saw yourself in that first list, you're in exactly the right place, and let's make sure you get the most out of this. And if you stick with me for the entire 60 minutes, please do excuse when I get excited, I talk fast. So stick with me until the end, and I'll give away a step-by-step guide on how to find hidden 100% remote jobs using a technique most people don't know. So jobs you won't necessarily find on standard job boards or LinkedIn. Now, I've invested a lot of time in this masterclass, and all I'm asking for in return is for your attention. So can I please ask you to close all of the tabs, turn off notifications, and type yes in the chat if you're fully committed to the next hour to this masterclass. Because if you stay until the end, you'll know exactly what you need to do to make those dreams a reality of moving overseas. And it's not going to be recorded, as I want you guys to take action right away on the things that you're learning. So go get your notepads ready. And on that, I just need to remember if I actually am recording this. Let me double check. That would help. I don't think I am. Let me... Have I got you all? Sorry, guys, I dropped out there by accident. Can you just drop me a yes in the chat to let me know you can see me? I think I was trying to record. Okay, so remember to drop your, okay, I'm back. Perfect. Remember to drop your questions in the Q&A section for later and use the chat function for any comments. Okay, you ready? I'm getting some yeses. This is awesome. Thank you for that. Like I said, first time I'm using this tool, so getting used to it. So we've got another poll for you before we get cracking. So I want to know from you, what is your biggest blocker right now? So a lot of people are unsure what they want or where to look for new jobs. They're not sure how to show their value. I speak to a lot of people who say that they find it hard to know the right way to network. So let me put this poll out here now, and I want to know which of these resonates more with you. Which is your biggest blocker? So I'm going to go in here and publish this. You should see that poll in there soon. Okay, what are people saying? Let's have a look. So there's a lot of people saying all of the above. Yeah, Good news, we're going to be covering all of the above today. There's a good majority of people not knowing how to show your value and letting that come across. And obviously equally the same amount of people finding it hard to know the right way to network as well. There seems to be quite an even split, and the numbers going up quite a bit on the all of above. So I'm going to end the poll in a couple of seconds so you can see the results there. So really interesting. So you're in good hands here. And if you're thinking, is it just me? I don't know how to do all of those. Then there's other people that are in the similar shoes as you. And I'm just reading here, Christy. I feel like a lot of jobs you're seeing are posted over and over. I get an email saying they're choosing another candidate. I hear that from so many people as well. It's hard to know where you're going wrong because you don't get the feedback, right? It's really frustrating. So I'm Michelle, for those of you who missed the start of the webinar. So I'm not some fake guru who's never done this before. I've sat on all sides of the table. I've been in recruitment for over 11 years. I've hired and I've worked across 11 continents, all 6 continents. And I've lived in 5 different countries and worked in 5 different countries as well. So everything I'm about to share with you is battle tested because I went through it myself. I worked my butt off to get to where I am today, to this level of freedom, and I want to help you get there as well. I didn't always have this life, this freedom to work from anywhere, so I want to paint a picture for you. It's 2014. I'm a recruiter in a London office. The money's good, the job's fine, but my life is a bit non-existent. I'm on the tube at 7 a.m, packed in like sardines. I'm in an office all day. And by 6 p.m, I'm exhausted. And the weekends, I'm so burnt out, I can barely think about what I actually want. And I'm surviving, I'm not living. So does this sound familiar to anyone? I'd love to know if this resonates with some other people. Anyone else? A few people getting to know each other in the chat here. That's great. Saurav, yeah, definitely. And then in 2020, or 2020 happened, as it were, and lockdown, and suddenly I'm not on the tube, I'm not in the office, and for the first time in years, I've got space to think, and all that space, I realized something. I hated city life, I hated the commute, I hated the grind, and I wanted something completely different. My happy place is by the ocean. I love community. I love the idea of working from anywhere. And a friend invited me to Bali. So as soon as I could in 2021, I booked a flight and I figured I'd work there until the London office opened that I was working in. And I spent my mornings surfing or diving and my afternoons working. And I was surrounded by people who had interesting things going on in their lives, different perspective. And I had the energy to go for dinners and events and watch sunsets. And I had a community that I never really had in London. And for the first time in years, I felt alive. Then the office called and said, come back, we're opening. And I felt sick. I felt actually physically sick. The thought of going back to that commute, to the same 4 walls every day, to that life, I just couldn't do it. And I looked like this guy here, crying his eyes out a little bit. I didn't want my freedom and my lifestyle taken away from me. So I decided to quit, and I quit my job and stayed in Bali. And I was like, I'll find a remote job again. It's all good. And here's the part of the story nobody tells you. Yes, I chose freedom, but freedom doesn't just happen. I quit my job without having another one lined up, and I had a mortgage to pay. And then I realized finding a remote job is hard. I've just realized I did the thing that the monkey was doing then. I didn't mean to do that. I'm on LinkedIn for hours. I'm applying to jobs that say remote, and then you read the fine print, remote from UK only in my case. And I sent so many applications and all I got was rejections, or worse still, I didn't get any response at all. And no one was giving me feedback. I just kept getting ghosted. And I started to doubt myself. Like I'm a recruiter. I should know how to do this. And I can't even find one for myself. So what am I doing wrong? Is this even possible? Those are the questions that kind of kept me up at night. Like, have I done the right thing? And then it hit me. I'm doing this backwards. Most people think get the remote job first and then figure out your life. But what if you flip it? What if you designed your ideal life first, where you want to be, how you want to spend your time, what matters to you, and then you built that career or that job around it. And that one shift changed everything for me. And here's what happened next. I stopped being desperate, coming across as desperate. I got strategic. I figured out what I actually wanted, and I realized that most people are looking in the wrong places. And I built a system, and that system landed me not 1, not 2, but 3 work from anywhere freelance roles, doing recruitment for remote first startups. Friends saw what I'd done, and they were like, how did you do it? How did you get a work from anywhere job that, pays UK salary and gives you this freedom? And can you help me too? So I started mentoring them. And one by one, they landed roles, they moved abroad, they built the lives that they wanted. And I realized I could do this for more people. So I quit my freelance roles and I went all in and set up Remote Rebellion. And for those of you who know me, you might know a little bit about Remote Rebellion. Remote Rebellion is all about helping people go through this transformation and get location independence and have the freedom to work remotely. So over the years, with the team now, I've helped over 200 rebels, as I call them. I don't like the term clients, so rebels sounds a little bit better, to land remote roles and have that location independence. And every single one of them went through the same 3-step framework that I'm about to teach you today. You ready? So I know it might seem like a pipe dream, a job you enjoy with a company that aligns with your values, fully remote, living overseas, not struggling with basic essentials. You've got the time to do things that you love with the people you love. It all seems a bit too good to be true, but I'm here to tell you that it is possible. Is it easy? Nope. It's hard. There's work that's got to be done, but it is possible. So here's what I discovered after working with hundreds of people. So there's a pattern. The ones who succeed are not necessarily the ones who are uber technical or who have all of the bells and whistles and the degree and everything like this. The ones who succeed are the ones who do 3 specific things. So each one breaks through a different false belief, beliefs that are keeping people stuck. And I want to show you what they are one by one. So the first secret, as I call it, is to design your life first blueprint, to become intentional and to create that clarity that gets you noticed. Why? Because there's a false belief that's keeping most people stuck in this case. So here's the false belief. I'll find any remote job and I'll figure out my life later. And then once I've got the security, then I'll design my ideal life. And I understand that. It feels logical. But here's what actually happens when you think that way. You start applying to remote jobs, any remote job, and you're not picky because you're desperate and you're not clear on what you want, so you apply to everything. And the problem with that is that recruiters can feel that desperation. You don't stand out. You look like everybody else who's just randomly applying. You get filtered out or you get rejected with no feedback. And then you're confused and then you don't know what's wrong. And then you get into this cycle of, is this even possible? So you apply to more jobs and then the desperation intensifies and you stay a little bit stuck. And honestly, it's difficult. The job market is extremely competitive right now. Add into that the remote job market, and it's even more difficult. Now, I've got these numbers here. You might not be able to see them on screen. It's a little bit small, but this just shows you at the end of last year, only 8% of roles on LinkedIn were advertised as remote. Now, and we all know there's ones that say they're remote and they're not, but they're the ones that are advertised as remote. Now, 40% of all applications go to those 8%. So it's a supply and demand issue. So how do you get ahead of the competition? How do you stand out? And how do you get noticed? Get clarity. So at the same time I was struggling to get a remote job, I wasn't having much success in my love life either. I'd show up to dates and guys would say that they wanted a long-term relationship and also something casual, and the two weren't aligned and it was a bit confusing. I'm like, what do you want, mate? Like if they didn't know what they wanted, then I wasn't interested because they didn't know what they don't know what they wanted. So secret one is to figure out exactly what you want and what your non-negotiables are so that you can create your life first blueprint. And what if instead of looking for any remote job, you got crystal clear on your ideal life first? So what if you knew exactly where you wanted to be physically, what kind of work energizes you, how many hours you want to work, what salary you need and what you should be asking for, what type of company matters to you? What kind of industry do you want to be in? What size of company? And once you know these things, something magical happens. You might think that by being specific, you're going to overlook opportunities or miss out on opportunities, but actually you end up looking like someone who knows exactly what they want, and you come across as assertive. Your applications are more powerful. You're not applying to 100 plus jobs. You're targeting 10, for example, that are actually a good fit. And guess what? That those 10 are more likely to respond than those 100 random applications ever were. And how would it feel to finally know instead of guessing? And imagine going from sending 100 desperate applications to sending 5 intentional ones and getting more responses. Now, here's how you build this. Now, the first vision, I want you to close your eyes. I know I can't see you, but close your eyes for a second. And I want you to really get into this. I want you to ask yourself, what does your ideal day look like? Not your ideal job. What does your ideal day look like? Are you waking up by the ocean? Are you in a coffee shop in Lisbon? Are you working 4 hours? Are you working 8 hours? Are you alone or are you around people? Really see it. Okay, you can open your eyes now. Now, the second non-negotiables, what are your hard stops? Things that you will not compromise on. For me, that would be working in a tobacco company, for example, or working 50 hours a week. And I need to be near the ocean. That's where my happy place is. Now, for you, it might be something completely different. Your non-negotiable might be being there for your kids' bedtime. You know, it's different for everyone. But be honest about what your non-negotiables are. And the third, priorities. You can't have everything. So pick your top 3. Maybe it's remote flexibility, interest in work, and a good salary. Or maybe it's good work-life balance, a mission-driven company, and visa sponsorship. But pick your top 3. And this lets you compromise on all the other things. Then the fourth is to target. Now, you can say, I'm looking for a marketing role at a remote first edtech company based in Europe that values work-life balance and pays between 60 and 100K. That's specific. That's not desperate. This is clarity, and clarity is what gets you noticed. So this is the 4-step, the Life First Blueprint. This is a strategic map that most people never even get to see because they're stuck blindly in applying for jobs. They're doing the action without ever doing the foundational work in the steps 1, 2, and 3. Right now, I want you to focus on the strategy itself, the what to do, the how to do it, the reflective exercises to actually define your non-negotiables. Now, that's a process that takes dedicated time and guidance. I wish we had time to go over all of that today, but I want to make sure I can give you as much value in this hour as possible and give plenty of time for you to ask your questions as well. So for now, just know that this map exists. This aha moment, this framework, this blueprint is the key to getting that clarity. And having that clarity is actually what unlocks the next secret. Before we go into the next secret, I want to give you a really nice example. So Victoria is an absolutely lovely example. So when we met, she'd quit her job as an account manager in a digital agency in New York. She'd quit because of burnout. And when we met, she'd been out of work for 3 months and she'd been sending multiple applications and she'd interviewed with no success and she wasn't really sure what she was looking for. After she got clear on what she wanted and what her non-negotiables were and how to stand out, the game completely changed for her. So she customized each application, she positions herself clearly, and within 30 days, she got contacted by 3 companies and she ended up choosing one. She chose one, moved to Valencia, became part of a community, and this community of other remote workers. And she spent her mornings meditating, going for walks, enjoying breakfast with friends or coffee on a balcony. And she did all of that before she even started her workday because she was working with US clients. And that's the power of clarity, of really, the way she was spending her days was nothing exceptional, but it was having her mornings to herself and spending it the way that she wanted to. So I'd love to hear from you in the chat. Does all of this make sense so far for secret 1? Can you see how having clarity on what you actually want changes everything? It's not about applying to more jobs. It's about being intentional about which jobs you apply to. So can you see how that would be different for you? Someone's saying there's a glitch. Are you the only one? Okay, Brittany, I think maybe it might just be you, Hamlet. Okay, great. Now let me show you the second secret, because clarity is necessary, but it's not enough. You need to actually show up in a way that gets you noticed. So second secret, I call it articulate a new remote ready positioning that makes you stand out. So present yourself effectively and ensure that your value shines through to the right people at the right companies. So this one addresses a very specific false belief. And here's the second false belief that's keeping women like you stuck. I'm not qualified enough. I don't have a degree. I don't have the right experience. I'm not techie enough. And I totally understand all of these beliefs, because I had some of them too. When I was searching for a fully remote job, I kept thinking, I'm a recruiter, I'm not a product person, I don't have experience in SaaS or software as a service, I don't have a tech degree, I'm not experienced enough. But here's what I realized. My qualifications were fine. The problem wasn't my qualifications or my experience. The problem was how I was presenting my qualifications, how I was presenting me. I looked like everyone else. My resume was generic. Recruiters, for those of you who follow me, that you'll know that recruiters spend on average 6 seconds just looking at your CV. So they skim for evidence and they will just look at small parts of your resume when they're doing that. So until I realized I had to look outside of the usual places, I couldn't rely on LinkedIn as that's where everybody goes. So I spent a lot of time researching. I discovered loads of places to find 100% remote and work from anywhere opportunities. The roles did exist. They were out there. And once I found the opportunities that aligned, I knew I had to find a way to stand out amongst those hundreds of other applications and show these companies that it was me they were looking for. And I hope you get the Lionel Richie reference here. So even if I didn't match 100%, I needed them to know, hello, it's me you're looking for. So it was doing it in the right way. So what if your positioning explicitly showed your value and didn't leave them guessing? It made them realize that you're the clear choice. It's about presenting yourself effectively to ensure that your value shines through to the right people at the right companies. Breaking it down to the harsh reality, you're a service that is on offer. So use this to figure out what it is exactly that you're selling and how to present what it is that you're selling to the right kinds of people you want to sell it to. So your personal brand, whether you think you have one or not, is how you promote yourself. So if you ever created an online dating profile, for example, you probably didn't just put any old photo on there and hopefully you put a bit of thought into your bio. Consciously or subconsciously, you thought, how do I want to be perceived and what kind of person do I want to attract? So the person who puts in photos of themselves doing activities such as skydiving wants to show that they're adventurous and probably wants to attract an adventurous person. This is part of your personal brand. This is a not so flattering photo of me skydiving, and I did do a test on a Tinder profile once and didn't get many matches, but I thought I'd put that in there to give you an example. So a strong personal brand helps you stand out from the thousands of other people like you, and it acts as your own billboard. So putting in the extra effort here, you won't have to do as much next time as well. You make yourself more visible. So the framework for this, the four pillars framework for this: audit your current narrative. How are you currently presenting yourself online, in your resume, your LinkedIn, your cover letters? Does it scream average on-site worker or remote ready overachiever? Then define your remote value. What specific results can you deliver independently and asynchronously? So shift the focus from past duties to future remote impact. And then signal your competencies. Identify the key traits of successful remote workers in your field. So how can you subtly demonstrate these in a positioning and not just list them? And then the final one in this framework is to articulate consistently. So ensure that your new, your intentional, your remote ready story is clear and it's consistent across all touch points where decision makers might find you. And if you've been dreaming of moving abroad and trying to get remote work on your own with no luck, chances are that your confidence has taken a bit of a dip. It's taken a bit of a hitting. And you probably had those feelings of rejection and those despair, wondering why you're not getting responses. And then you end up procrastinating, and then you give yourself a hard time for procrastinating. I'm here to tell you that all of that is completely normal. Confidence is the byproduct of gaining a new capability, and you don't know what you don't know, and you're not supposed to be an expert in job searching. So that new confidence, we all love this confidence. We wish we could feel that way, but it's only part of the reward. So the even bigger payoff is that your greater confidence will increase your motivation. So once you have the knowledge and you have the tools, that confidence will grow. And nothing starts until you commit to actually achieving a specific measurable result by a specific date in your future, or SMART goals, as they say. So if you can committed to take the rough with the smooth, and even though it's scary diving into the unknown and hearing no time and time again when you're utterly exhausted, you will succeed. And if this is something you really want and you commit to it, don't get caught in this sort of middle place of like wanting something, doing a little bit, and getting caught between, as they say, the boat and the dock. So a little story for you from a book called The 4 C's Formula. It's a really good book by Dan Sullivan. So Dan was drafted into the army, and whilst in boot camp, his platoon was learning how to safely throw grenades. And when asked by the drill sergeant who was scared, Dan was the only one out of like 50 who put his hand up. And the sergeant said, "Sullivan's the only person here I trust because he's actually telling the truth. The people who are scared and don't say it are a bigger worry to me than the people who actually admit it." So there's no shame in admitting you're scared. And as the drill sergeant put it, fear is wetting your pants and courage is doing what it's supposed to do with your pants wet. It's like one of my favorite sayings. I think it's great. So you faced with fear, you've got 2 choices. You've got avoidance or you've got courage. And while skill, intelligence, and experience is important, courage is a really crucial component in all new growth and doing anything new. Hidaya's story, or Hidaya, her story really stuck with me. She was in Singapore and she was wanting to move to France. She wanted to work in the social impact space and she wasn't really getting anywhere. She did about 9 months of applications. I can't even remember how many she'd gone through, and her confidence was a bit shot. Then we started working together on her positioning, and she realized that her resume looked like every other Singapore-based person trying to break into Europe. So we helped her rebuild how she presented herself and to make it really clear. I'm remote ready, I've managed time zones, I deliver without hand-holding, and I'm low maintenance. And things really shifted. And then just within 3 months, she got an offer from a really great company doing social impact work. And she's now living in France with her family, doing the work that she loves and with the life that she actually designed. See what happened there when you signal all of the things and put across your value in the right way, something shifts and recruiters will take you seriously. They don't see as many risks, they see competence. Is there anyone here who can relate to that feeling that you're not being seen for your actual value and you know you've got something to give, but it's not coming across? I think there's terrified of not being enough and let my family down. Yeah, so many people get that as well. This feeling of not feeling enough, and that really comes through as well. So you're not alone there, Tatiana. Okay, quite a few, 100% share. So let me show you how the third and final secret, because even with clarity and positioning, there's one more piece of the puzzle that most people miss entirely. So here's the third secret. I call it, it's a bit of a mouthful, create your insider network to bypass the system and have real conversations with the right people. And this one addresses the false belief that's keeping most people stuck. But before we jump into the secret 3, tell me in the chat how many of you felt this way, that it's near, or maybe you've said it out loud or you said it to the void, that it's near impossible to get close to a human. Instead, it's bots talking to bots, and perhaps you've even been duped by fake remote roles or scammers that have really perpetuated that feeling. Yet most applicants are only using job boards. So I'm getting a few 100% yeses. Yep. Totally. Yeah, most applicants are only using job boards. So you're spending hours every week applying to jobs, you're getting rejected, you're wondering why it's so hard, but you're only looking in 1 or 2 places, the job boards, where you're competing against thousands of other desperate people. And I don't mean desperate in a bad way. You're desperate to work remotely. This is a goal of yours. And I get it, it's hard. It's really hard to know what's real and what's not. So many people ask me, like, how do you spot a ghost job? It's really difficult to know. So there's so many scams, commission-only traps, the fake remote jobs, and it feels like you're just sending these applications into the void. And then you're scrolling through LinkedIn and you're thinking, okay, this seems like a real opportunity, but many of them are deep fakes. And this is partly why so many applications go nowhere, because many of them are just ghost jobs. They're just farming CVs. So if you've typed in how to get remote work into Google or ChatGPT, which I'm sure most of you have, it will have probably told you that you need to network. Duh, right? Because the market is so competitive, it's not enough to just apply and wait for something to happen. And you might have seen stats like this, that over 70% of job vacancies are filled via networking. So you need to be more proactive. You need to increase your visibility and discover opportunities before they're even posted. Okay, you get it. Networking's important. So the thing is, so many people get it wrong and they end up giving up after getting nowhere. And they say networking doesn't work. I've tried. But because they've got the wrong approach. So they ask first, they spam employers with generic ChatGPT written messages or generic messages, and they make it about them. They make it about themselves and not on solving the problem for the other person they're reaching out to. What if instead of applying to hundreds of jobs, you had real conversations with 3 to 5 of the right people at companies you want to work for? Think about it. If a recruiter meets you at a networking event and has a real conversation, learns about you, and then one of their companies has an opening, what are the odds that you're going to get considered? A hell of a lot higher than if they didn't know you from Adam. I don't know if that's a real Britishism, didn't know you from Adam, or maybe it's an American term as well. Anyway, because you're not competing with the thousands of applicants, they've actually met you, you're already in. You've already got a relationship with that person. And this is the difference between being one of 1,000 and being one of 5. So getting those warm introductions to remote first recruiters are really key. And Stacey, one of my lovely rebels who you'll hear from in a moment, she found her role through exactly this kind of connection. Okay, you say it in the US as well. Okay, good. So here's the strategic insight. Go where real people are building real remote companies and real teams. These are the places where 70% of jobs actually come from, not LinkedIn job postings. I'm not saying that LinkedIn isn't a great tool. It is, but it's not the be all and end all. So real human connections. And this is what Secret Free is about. It's about building a network of real people at real companies who know you and like you. So in Stacey's 10 plus years of experience, she'd done so many different types of things within the HR people space. Her roles were really varied. So she struggled to really sell herself, and she was coming across as a generalist when loads of companies were looking for specialists. So she struggled to sell herself on paper or on screen in just 2 pages of her resume, and she was getting rejections quite fast. She didn't get one interview from applying. And then everything shifted once she had the courage and the framework to network effectively. And she got to connect one-to-one with recruiters at remote first companies through an event that we hosted, a Remote Rebellion. It was a really cool job fair, actually. I'll talk about it later. And just 1 month later, she got a remote job offer. So it went from crickets, nothing, to actually having this conversation. So that's secret number 3. To connect with decision makers at remote first companies and create your insider network to bypass the system. So I hope after everything that you've learned today, you know now that it's possible to get a fully remote job and to work from anywhere. I'd love for you to share in the chat, what does your dream lifestyle look like? What will you do with a fully remote job that you can't do now? It could be working from a boat like me here, or it could be simply being there for your kids, working with your dogs, moving out of the city, being surrounded by nature. By the way, this was totally staged for the video. We didn't just decide to close our laptops and spontaneously jump in, but it's my friend's boat, and I worked there for a week, and it was awesome. They had Starlink as well, so it was actually a really good network. So what have we got here? spend my winter in MX, trail through Europe easily, love that. Spend more time with the family, yeah, great. Move to Thailand, travel in nature, have your dogs near, freedom to travel. See, people are not asking for big things, like just really, you know, small things that are really important to you. Step away and not change to your desk, yeah, amazing. In a warm country, yeah, I'm with you on warm countries. I don't do cold countries very well. Oh, thank you guys. It's really nice to hear like all of the different options there. So I've shown you the framework. You know what needs to happen, but if you don't actually implement it, what good is it? So how do you actually do this? How do you get clarity without spinning your wheels? How do you position yourself without guessing? How do you build a real network without knowing where to start? You have a choice. You can take the blueprint that I've shared with you today and you can try and do this all on your own, or you can let me and my team guide you and we can do it together. So for those of you who want to do this the fast way with a proven system and a group of women to support you, I've created the 39 Bootcamp. So this is in celebration of my 39th birthday, and I'm sharing this special 3-day program that I have never done before. So please drop me a yes in the chat if you are happy for me to show you how we can build this together with you in 3 days. Just reading some more of these stories. Not owning a car. What if you have a family and a kid who doesn't want to move? Wow, you need to do some persuading. Okay, I'm getting a few yeses and a few happy birthdays. Thank you. Very sweet. Lots of yeses, please. Great. So I am excited to give you a behind the scenes peek of what the I can't pronounce my THs, so 3 is a really hard number for me, with the 3-day 39 Bootcamp, what it looks like. So in a nutshell, the 3-day program is to take action on finding remote work and to move abroad. And the lovely Oprah here is going to show me, here's what you're going to get when you invest in yourself and in the bootcamp today. The first thing you're going to get is the 3-day live bootcamp with myself and with Erin, who's our second remote work coach, and with Seppi, who is our move abroad expert, who specifically works with women over 30. So in this bootcamp, you'll dive much deeper into the 3 secrets and the frameworks that we've covered today. You'll get the freedom framework to successfully land remote work that aligns with your values. You'll figure out and find out where to find real 100% remote and work from anywhere jobs and freelance gigs. The ways to get recruiters and hiring managers reaching out to you with opportunities, how to apply so that you get invited to interviews and you land your dream remote job, and then how to navigate all the complexities of taxes, visas, legal, accommodation, and all the other logistics of moving abroad. We've designed it to fit around your busy schedule. So we've got some time in the morning, some time in the evening, and some time in the day if you do have your job that you need to go away to. So we've planned it around the weekend as well. So on day 1, you'll get clarity on exactly what it is that you're looking for and the roles and the companies to target so that you can apply with confidence. On day 2, you'll come away with a polished personal brand. So a completely revamped resume and LinkedIn profile, and discover how to get referrals and introductions to the right opportunities. And then on day 3, you'll work with Seppi, who's our move abroad expert, to navigate all the complications around the logistics of moving abroad. And as I said before, we've designed it to fit around your busy schedule too. That's the 3-day bootcamp in a nutshell, and that's the value of this. So you've got the insights from experts. What else do you need to be successful? How about feedback and advice to ensure you're on the right track? So searching for a remote job can really eat away at your self-worth. And I know that you need more than just a list of resources. You need feedback, you need guidance from women who've been there in your shoes and they've gone through the struggles that you're facing and come out the other end, more importantly. So that's why myself, Erin and Seppi will be there to guide you throughout the whole 3 days. And there'll be multiple chances to ask all of your burning questions live as well. So you'll have over 2.5 hours of Q&A time included. And we're not just going to tell you how to write a remote resume. We're going to make it much easier by giving you a customizable guided template that you can use for almost any industry. And you can just go and plug and play into that. And it actually works. And then we'll go one step further and we'll spend 2 hours reviewing your resumes in small groups so you can get live feedback and advice, and you can learn from others' feedback as well in those sessions. What else do you need? So you've got the insights, you've got the resume ready. What else do you need to be successful? More fully remote jobs in your field, I'm guessing. So a lot of people say, oh, I can find remote jobs, but they're never in my field, they're never in my industry, they're never my level. So we're going to give you a curated list of over 39 remote first companies that are categorized by company size and industry type and headquarters, and then 39 specialist job boards that have a remote work filter as well. So the total stack there of everything that you're going to get. And then to complete your freedom life, you'll have a Move Abroad Logistics Masterclass with Seppi, who's an expert in helping women over 30 move abroad. I think we've got some Refreshers Lounge people in here as well, which is awesome. And then we'll share with you a 30-day action plan. So to ensure that you keep the momentum going post bootcamp and you're not just kind of left to your own devices after the 3 days. So here's what you're going to get. I'll give you an overview on there. I'll let you read that and see the kind of the value that you're getting in everything in this list. Now, what else do you need? We want to reward action takers. This is not just for people who are dreaming. This is action takers. So for the first 3 people to join us for the 3-day bootcamp, you'll have 30 minutes with me or Erin for free after the bootcamp to ensure that you're on the right track to reaching your goals. And as I mentioned earlier, 70% of jobs are filled via networking, and often you don't see jobs posted. So the final thing that you need is introductions to people hiring at remote companies. It's all very well having all the know-how, but the famous saying goes, it's not just about what you know, but who you know. So in April, we hosted a remote job fair. We had 16 virtual company booths that you could go and speak with recruiters hiring in remote companies. You see all the booths that are dotted around here. It went really well. And I think a few of you might come here as well. It went really well, and it was valuable for both job seekers and recruiters as it overcame the issue with the bots talking to bots. So Stacey, the HR director that I mentioned previously, she was just one of the people who got a job thanks to this event, and really quickly. So next month, we're hosting a mini version of this, which is exclusively for our remote rebellion community. And we're going to feature 5 to 8 recruiters from remote companies, and we're going to open this up to those joining the 3-day bootcamp. So you can join this, which would normally be exclusive to remote rebellion people. We're going to open it up to you boot campers. And then I think we've got 5 companies confirmed already, and another 2 that are in the waiting list. And most of these are work from anywhere companies. So the value of all these components separately, the coaching, the resume review, the access to recruiters, and all the transformation that you'll experience in those 3 days with me and my team, the total value is almost $5,000. Now, I'm not going to charge you that. I'm not going to charge you over $5,000 today, so don't worry. But I want to ask you, if I did charge you $5,000, and all this program did was save you hours of your time, it reduced your stress and overwhelm, got you a fully remote job way faster, finally allowed you to live a life of freedom and flexibility, would it be worth it? And what is freedom and flexibility actually worth to you? Freedom and flexibility might mean something different for you. This is me by the pool with my nephew, or messing around on the ski slopes. It might just be being able to sit next to your child, or be with your dog, or sit in a cafe with a friend. And I just want to be clear, it's not 5K. This is the value. I'm seeing some of the people in the comments here. So I wanted to make the price as accessible as possible without losing the value. So that's why the official price for this 3-day transformational experience and almost $5,000 worth of value is just $1,239 plus VAT. And if you think that is too good to be true, I've lost the slide there. So if you think that's too good to be true, it's my 39th birthday, and I wanted to do a celebration, and because you're all here live with me today. So for those of you who are ready to commit, and for the next 24 hours only, you'll not pay the full $1,239. So for those action takers amongst you, you'll save $240 if you join in the next 24 hours. So I still wanted to make this as attainable as possible for you. So I've also created a payment plan where you get to spread the investment across 4 months. So all you need to do to secure your spot today and to get the 240 discount is $249.75. So an offer is about to appear on your screen. Let me show you where this is. Okay. Oh, it's disappeared for me somehow. That's weird. Let me add this in. Add that link in there. Oh, great technology, eh? Absolutely great. Let me put that in here. Okay. Bootcamp. Okay, let me add that in there. Sorry, guys, looks like we're having technical issues here a little bit. Give me 2 seconds. Always the case, isn't it? Let me pop it in there. Okay, this should work now. There, and I will add it into here as well. So let me know if you can see that. Okay. Now, this is the 39 Bootcamp. So there are only 39 seats available. This is not a marketing gimmick. So once those 39 spots are filled, enrollment closes for good. So there's currently 160 something of you on this call, and I know a lot of you are action takers. So that's why you're here. So I would love to reward action takers, as I know how much this can change your life. So the first 3 people who sign up will also get a one-to-one strategy session with me or with Erin. And we've got some Q&A in there as well. Okay, awesome. Let me check that you can see my screen okay. I think you can. So here's a snapshot of some of the action takers that I've spoken about. So women from all kinds of backgrounds that went through this framework, and now they're living life on their own terms. And as you can see, they're from different parts of the world with various different experience, with various different experience levels and job types. And just pop that in there now so you can see that as well. And if those people can do it, like, so can you. I want to put this investment into perspective. I've seen a few people in the chat there saying that, you know, it wasn't the price that they were expecting. The minimum that you will earn on average in a remote job is 4,000 USD a month. So if you're out of work right now, for every month that you're not working, you're losing at least 4,000 a month. And if your expected salary is higher than this, that number is obviously a lot higher. Now, if you're working right now, you're probably here because you want the freedom to work from anywhere. So when I moved into my last apartment in the UK many years ago, I bought a washing machine. I could have washed my clothes by hand. I could have used a laundrette. Both would have cost less. So why did I buy the washing machine? Because the other options would have saved money, but they would have been more time consuming. So I never saw it as a cost. I saw it as an investment to save my time and my energy. And for me, my time's more valuable. So right now you've got 2 choices. The first option is do nothing and not take this chance, which is risk-free. And then the second option is you make a small investment and you take the chance on yourself, and you take the chance on your goal as well. let me ask you, is getting a remote job and moving abroad really something that you want? Is it something that you want so badly that you're willing to put in the work and commit to your effort to? Because like I said, this is no silver bullet that you can just magic away. There is work that you need to put into this too. So is it something that you're willing to invest in? If that investment pays for itself within a few weeks of starting your new remote job. So I've just seen now we've got a few people coming in. We've got some action takers. Lisa, welcome. Welcome to the boot camp. And we've also got Water Element. That's an interesting name. I like that name. So welcome. So that means we've only got 37 spaces now. And those two people have got the free one-to-one with myself or with Erin. So congratulations, you're in. Really exciting to have you in here. Oh, and we've got our third person. So I've got an email here, DPVN. I won't put out the whole email address because I don't want to give it away. And then we've just got our fourth person. So we've now only got 64 spaces. Like 64? 34. Oh my God, my maths. So welcome. Colleen, you're in as well. Welcome to the 39 Bootcamp. And then Laura. So these are proper action takers. We've got 5 people already. This is awesome. So the first 3 people, do you know what? I'm going to give you the extra 2, an extra 30-minute with me and Erin, because I'm really excited. This is the first time we've run anything like this. So super excited. All 5 of you are going to get the call with either me or Erin. And then also I want to give a huge welcome to Ali as well. Ali is another new boot camper. So we've only got 33 spaces left now. And like I said, we will be shutting those once we reach that limit of those people. And I want to make sure we've got plenty of time for Q&A as well. So before we get into the Q&A, as promised, for those of you who stayed until the end, you can scan this to get your free guide on how to find hidden 100% remote jobs. Now, this is something that can be quite complex. We'll cover it in a lot more information, a lot more detail during the boot camp as well. So let me add that into the chat, just for those of you who are on your phone and can't scan, and then get that for everyone who stayed to the end. And let me add in here, for those of you, I think there's a few people in the chat who are asking for the installment option. Okay, give me a second. Okay, now let's go on to the questions. It's time to make a change from what you're doing and make your remote work dream a reality. So scan this if you want to join right now, and we'll come to some of the questions in the Q&A. So let me get to the top. Okay, there's quite a lot in here. Let me try and get to as many as possible. So what if you don't have experience in CRM tools? In a nutshell, it depends what job you're going for. If you're going for a CRM expert role, then you probably need it. So I need a bit more context from you there. Question. No, it looks like you've asked the same question. CRM tools required. I think I need a bit more context there. So let me get to another question. So how many people have you helped who are 60 plus years of age? Really good question, Leslie. Not as many women will disclose their age, but I was recently, no, not recently, it was about a year or so ago. I worked with someone in the US and he was 68 at the time. And he had been working remotely for many, many years. And he's like, listen, I'm not ready to retire yet. I want to continue working. And he ended up, he's one of those people, when people say to me, how easy is it to get remote work? And can I get remote work with my experience? Well, it really depends. The attitude of someone is one of the most important things. It really is. That attitude of, can I do this? Do I have the grit and determination? And he was one of those people that really did. So we worked together, and then within 6 weeks, he got a new job in a completely different industry. So it is possible. Ageism exists, I'm not going to lie. It is something that we will cover in the boot camp as well, on how to overcome ageism issues. Like, you're not going to eradicate it. I wish you could, just to know it exists and know ways to overcome it. So thank you for that question, Leslie. And the next question here is, how is the bootcamp different than the services you offer on your website? For the price for the bootcamp, it almost seems more practical to pay for something that garners more one-on-one time and attention. It's really, a personal preference. This is a Brea. Some people prefer to have the boot camp and go and then do their own thing. And with the Remote Job Academy, it's a 16-week intensive program. So you can choose to join that one, or you can choose to do the boot camp. And then if you want to then do the RJA, do the Remote Job Academy from there, we will take the money off that you've paid for this into that. So you've got two options there. So thank you for the question. How much is the VAT? That depends in which country you're paying for. It can be anything from 0 to 25%. So it really does depend. Okay. That's another question we've got here. What are the dates for the bootcamp? Very good question. It's the 21st to the 23rd of November, and we're doing it on the Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Which currencies are the prices in? They are in USD, just to keep it universal. And how do you know if you are one of the first 3 people? That is a good question. Carissa, did I see your name pop up? I don't know if you were one of the people that was Water Element or DPN Ventures. If you were, then you are one of the 3 people. Were you one of the 3 people? I don't know. Let's see in the chats. Okay. What else? Need the link to pay in 1 installment. I don't have that link handy, but maybe someone in my team might be in the chat and can maybe add that in. That would be fantastic. For the link to pay in 1 installment. Would you recommend this program for people who are doing a career pivot at the same time they're trying to find remote work, or is it better to do one thing at a time? So really, really good question. So a lot of people come to me when they've already been working with a career advisor. So sorry, I've got the link for one payment. It's working. Let me pop this into the chat. Okay, should be able to see that now. So yeah, a lot of people come to me after they've been working with a career advisor, and some people will work with me to help figure out what it is they need. That needs typically a bit more one-to-one support. So whilst this will be great for people who already have an idea what they're looking for, the Remote Job Academy might be a good option if you need a bit more personalization and one-to-one time. Okay. I work independently more than 10 years and I have a challenge that people think that it's not quite serious. Also, all my clients are from word of mouth and I suck at interviews. How to jump that barrier? Really good question. So many people say they suck at interviews. Then that can actually be a benefit because you've got a long way to go into increasing your confidence, and you don't come across as arrogant. So you're coming across like humble. So how do you jump that barrier? It's too much of a question for me to be able to cover in detail, but it's something that we will talk about confidence and talk about interviews and how to interview effectively as part of the boot camp, and definitely as part of the Remote Job Academy as well. Anan, will you advise on visa sponsorship as well? I won't personally, because that's not my expertise. I'm on the jobs front. Seppi is much more experienced on this side. So she'll be able to, if she doesn't have the exact information about visa sponsorship for a particular country, she can guide you in the direction of someone who will. And then that question's been answered. If you cannot attend one of the specific dates, will there be another boot camp? Nope. This is a one-time only for my 39th birthday. The Remote Job Academy is my usual offering. This is a one-time special event, and that's why there's only 39 people for this one, and 39 women, that is. Question from Mel. Do you have creative industry contacts? I might need a bit more information there, Mel. In short, I have contacts in multiple different industries. I've got a really big network on Slack communities and also on LinkedIn. I don't know how many creative industries off the top of my head, I'm afraid. And then question from Poppy. Super interested in this, but I've also applied for a job at Remote Rebellion on your sales team. So not sure if I should wait to hear back or do this. Poppy, hello. I think I remember seeing your application come through. We filled those positions and we are not hiring anymore. You should have had an email back. So if you haven't, shame on me, shame on us, and I'm sorry you haven't had that, but we filled those positions. So join us instead and join us in the bootcamp, and we can get you connected to the right people. And Mel, for applying jobs, I'm not sure what you mean there on your bootcamp. I might need a bit more from you there, Mel. Can you give me a bit more in your Q&A? Okay, we've got a new bootcamper, Ashley. Welcome. You joined us, so we've now only got 32 spaces left. So any other questions while I'm here? Let's keep going with the questions. Alex, my husband really needs this. Is it only for women or can he sign up? Sadly, this one is specifically for women over 30, the boot camp. If your husband is interested, and we do have the Remote Job Academy, which is our normal offering, so tell him to get in contact. So my email is Michelle@Remote Rebellion. So if he wants to drop me an email, then he is more than welcome. I'll drop it in the chat as well. Okay, there we go. Did that come through? Okay, lovely. Anyone else wants to pop a question in the Q&A? I'm more than happy to keep asking questions. I realize we've gone over on the time, but I am here for you if you have more questions. And then after joining this bootcamp, I have access for community too. If yes, how long? This particular bootcamp doesn't give access to the Remote Rebellion community. That is separate. However, there is, if you're going through the bootcamp and you want a little bit more of the more support and you want the community, you can upgrade to that, and the price that you paid for the bootcamp will be taken off, and you've already pretty much paid half of it already. I hope that helps. And the discount, the 240 discount ends in 24 hours. So you've got 24 hours to mull it over and hope that those 39 spaces don't, or the 32 spaces don't get taken. We've just had another boot camper join. I only have the email. So Miss Back, welcome. Really great to have you in the community of women. I'm really excited to actually find out where everyone's from and what their dreams are. Like, everyone's got a different dream and a different vision of what freedom looks like for them. So it's going to be really interesting. Let me take a drink because I'm really thirsty. Okay. Any more? Miss Bar, there we go. Got you here. Any other questions that I may have missed? I mean, I've been going in the Q&A. What about the language barrier if I wish to move to another country? Where do you wish to move to, Anand? And just like with anything, if you want to do something and you don't know how to do it right now, you learn. I know that sounds really simple, but if we often find these barriers like, oh, I can't do that because it seems too out here, and I can't do this and I can't do that. We really set these barriers up ourselves when really we can do anything. We can do anything we set our mind to. When I first came to Bali, I'd never been here. No, actually, I came here years before, but I didn't intend to live here. I didn't know how to do a visa. I didn't know where I was going to live. I didn't know anybody here. I knew one friend. So I just had to learn it, and you just have to go along with it. And this is why you've got a group of people, so it's not as scary. You're not doing this on your own. You're with a group of women who are in it with you. So I missed a question actually from, I missed a few here. I mean, is part of your bootcamp help creative connect with creative industries? Sorry, Mel, I'm going to need a bit more there. I'm not. I mean, we help connect you with lots of different industries. Creative industry is just one of them. It's not something I specialize in, if I'm honest. Can you sign up after the call? Albert, yes. Like I said, you've got the 24 hours for that discounted price if you want to save 240. So yes, you can do after this call if you wish. Do you have to be 30 and over to do this? Poppy, are you under 30? Have we got an imposter here? We've got this age in there. Like, if you're going to come in and you're going to show up and you're going to be joining the women, and the women are okay with you coming in as a youngster, then I don't think that'll be too much of an issue. Will it help you becoming a freelancer? So we'll cover the different options in here, like permanent, full-time employee, freelancer, fractional, contractor, what your options are. There aren't many advertised freelance roles. So, however, we can show you how to position yourself as a freelancer and how to attract clients as well. So it's not, our focus isn't on freelancing, but it covers a variety, if that helps. Do you have experience helping women from countries in Latin America? See so many cool remote jobs in the US and Europe, but you need a work permit. I don't see the visa sponsorship in the application. I wonder because I'm from Mexico. I actually work with people from Mexico, from Argentina, from Brazil. Last time I counted, I'd worked with people from over 40 different countries across all continents. So yes, it is harder for people in LATAM, in the global South, no doubt about it, but it's 100% possible. And I have helped someone from Mexico, yes. I'd be interested in remote. I'd also be interested in remote opportunities that are not only US or UK based. Do you have resources for this? Yes. We have the list of 39 remote companies. A lot of those are work from anywhere that we share with you. And we will also show you how to find other companies that are outside this list as well. We encountered a temporary issue processing your payment. Tatiana, are you still having issues, Tatiana? Is that still having issues with your payment? Because we've had 8 other people that haven't had an issue there. So drop me an email and we can see if we can sort that out for you. So let me just put my email in the chat there. There we go, put that in the chat. Okay, I want to learn more about your journey starting your company. Is that something that you talk about? Yes, of course. I won't cover it in this one, but that's something I can talk about. It started, like I said, it started out as helping friends and I was kind of guiding them through it. And then I started doing one-to-one with people that I used to work with. And then it organically spiraled, I guess. And at first I thought that self-employment was going to be me sitting in a hammock and working 2 hours a day. And it actually ended up being, 12-hour days working till 1 a.m. because I absolutely love what I do. And when I see the successes of people getting these jobs and changing their lives, it's a bit of a drug for me. Like I love what I do. So happy to talk about it as well, Brittany. In the bootcamp, or can you go into that bit of now? Okay, got that question. Is it helpful for legal counsel positions as well? It's a bit more complex because of jurisdiction and expertise. Yes, I actually worked with someone who is in legal counsel. Her name's Tanya, and she was from India and was based in Holland when we met, and she wanted to move to Spain. She ended up getting like multiple freelance gigs as a legal counsel. So I know it's possible. I know that industry is typically quite difficult to get into because they don't respect remote work as much, but it's definitely possible. I'm 28, but you feel 30, Poppy. Well, I'm 39 and I feel 21. So we can swap over. You can take a few of my years if you want. So you're nearly there. So I think I'll let you in. Tatiana, you can't pay. What can you do? Can you drop me an email, Tatiana, and let me know, screenshot what your issue is, and we'll try and get that solved for you. Thank you. Then Diana, I'm a teacher and I teach 3 languages. Do you think you can help me find a remote job? In a nutshell, if you're willing to put in the work, 100%. What you have done in the past, to a certain degree, makes no difference to what you can get now. I've helped a nurse get a remote nursing job in Spain. So teacher has many, many transferable skills that you can put into something else. Either that's being a teacher online, or if you want to work in the education system and use the industry knowledge that you've got, and work backwards a little bit that way, then there's loads of opportunities. So I see no issues with that at all, Diana. Brittany, you're in Bali in the next few weeks. Are you open to grabbing a coconut? 100%. Yes. Whereabouts in Bali are you going to be? I am in Kadungu, which is just a little bit north of Canggu. So I'm going to be leaving on the 14th for Thailand. So as long as it's before then, let's grab a coconut. Love that. I've met loads of rebels actually around the world. Like I was in Mexico a few months ago and met with one of the rebels. I've met someone in Thailand, in Lisbon. So I absolutely love it when I meet up with people and we get to connect in person. One of my goals for Remote Rebellion in the future is actually to have what they called chapters. So people, there's a Portuguese chapter and someone manages the events there, and having someone in the UK, someone in the US, and that's my goal for later on. But that's in the future. That's a little bit later. Any more questions in here? So I just want to let you know that the offer, the $240 is only valid until tomorrow. So let me send you the link again in the chat here. And I know it can be difficult, especially I speak to so many people and they're like, oh, is it going to work? And do I pay this money? And what if it doesn't work? It's an investment. And with any investment, you need to be willing to actually put your time and your energy into it. It's not just about investing financially. It is investing your time and your energy. And if you are willing to go the extra mile to do that, they're the people who see success. I'll put that in the Q&A as well. Be in Thailand and then in Bali. I hope you don't end up crossing like the wrong paths. Whereabouts in Thailand are you, Brittany? And then I'm looking at Winfred's message here. I'm a counsellor. Can I get a remote roles in this sector? What kind of counsellor? Like a therapist counsellor or a coach? And then Jamie, how many remote first recruiters will we meet personally? So at the moment I have 5 recruiters confirmed at remote first companies, and I'm hoping to get another 3 on board. So the way that will work, there'll be a group of you. So there'll be the 39 women and plus the Remote Job Academy members. So no more than 60 people in that community, and there'll be plenty of time for you to submit your questions. The remote first recruiters will go and present, this is our company, this is what we do, these are the roles that we have, and then you will get the chance to ask the questions. So what we've done in the past is we've shared the resumes from the people that were at the job fair with the recruiters, and the recruiters have often set up like one-to-one calls with them as well. So that's how we're going to facilitate that relationship. And I think there was like 5 people hired from the job fair. And what's been really great is some of the other rebels that we've had in the community, we've since introduced them as well to these recruiters. So we're building this relationship with these recruiters. Like Karina at Publitas is one really good example. She's just fantastic. She's like a #1 fan, and she's always wanting to like help out the rebels as well. Okay, Tatiana, we've had the remote job fair. This is the Meet the Recruiters session that I'm talking about. This is happening on the 5th of December, and it will be in the morning. So it'll be around 8 a.m. to midday EST. Any other questions? So addiction counselor therapist, really interesting. Do I know of any remote role? Quite honestly, not at the top of my head. But that doesn't mean they don't exist. Like I said, if I helped a remote nurse, then I don't see why there couldn't be opportunities like this. I actually spoke to someone the other day, and she has like an addiction therapy and like almost like a camp or a house that people go to with addiction issues. So I can connect you with her and see if she knows of anything. She'd be a good person to speak with. Okay, I'm just looking at some more questions. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, I've seen a message here. So many layoffs happening in corporate right now. Yeah, it's tough. It is a really tough market, and that sort of sorry, I just got a message here. So that really perpetuates this challenge with people, because they're like, oh, is it even possible? There's all of these layoffs. I mean, that's why you need even more tailoring to really stand out amongst the competition there. So I'm going to go through with you. Let me find the link here so you can see exactly what is covered in this bootcamp. So I'm going to give you let me just check that this is working okay. Excuse me. Sorry, there seems to be a bit of a technical issue. Let me see if there's more questions coming in here. No, I think I've covered them. Oh, wait, no, another one. Am I an education? I am an education advisor for university students, especially for study abroad or opportunities. Do you have experience with people finding jobs in this field? Yeah, I did actually work with someone, and she was from the UK, and she'd just left university and was doing a role within that space. Now, I used to contract at a company called Virtual Internships, and I have a really good relationship with the founders and the recruiter there. So I can introduce you to the team there if you end up joining. And there's also, I've got a few contacts in the edtech space because of that stint that I did working at that company. I was actually doing the freelance. That's one of the freelance gigs I got at the very beginning. So happy to make that introduction. And actually, there's a lot of edtech companies that are hiring in the space now. So I think that would be quite a good space to get into. Any success stories of product designers landing roles at remote first companies? Yes, I can think of one the top of my head, Anthony. Now, he was a funny one because he is really anti-social media, and he's like, Michelle, I do not want to get LinkedIn. I can't stand social media. Like, are you going to help me? Are you going to be able to help me get a remote role without LinkedIn? And I was like, oh, it's going to be difficult because it's so good to have a presence and to play the game. And he did it. I think we worked together for about 8 weeks and walked him through this guy. And product design is a difficult space right now, especially with AI coming in. So in a nutshell, yes, I have helped people in the space, and also product owners, product managers, UI designers, UX designers separate as well. So give me 2 secs. I'm going to walk you through, because I realize I've skimmed the bootcamp a little bit. Let me walk you through what this looks like. Okay, so in here, so it's a live experience, and it's designed to take you from that feeling of feeling like overwhelmed, invisible, to feeling confident and getting clarity that you need to build your new life abroad. So in just 3 intensive days, there's November 21st to 23rd, we're going to build the pillars of your new life abroad together. Okay. So you'll leave motivated with clarity. So you get crystal clear on exactly what it is that you want, what your non-negotiables are, what's possible, and how you want to achieve your goal of living abroad and working remotely. Then you'll have the knowledge. So you'll have the revamped LinkedIn profile, a powerful resume reviewed in a live working session with myself and another recruiter, and then the proven techniques to stand out amongst the sea of applicants. Then the move abroad logistics are pretty big as well. So you'll unpack the complexities of the visas, the tax, the living costs, accommodation, and other logistics and challenges of moving abroad. So Seppi is going to be the expert in this field. And then the confidence. So with everything that you learn, you'll come away feeling confident that achieving your goal of living abroad and working remotely is not only possible, but it's highly achievable. Okay. So with these 4 pillars, you'll come away with this 30-day action plan. So the exact step-by-step coherent actions that you need to take after the bootcamp to secure your ideal remote role and move abroad. And this is the Meet the Recruiter roundtable that we were talking about, because I know how hard it is to actually speak to a human who's hiring. So we're giving you the access to join this exclusive Meet the Recruiter roundtable. And you've got my introduction here. So Erin's story, she actually was in corporate for 10 years. And then she got out of corporate and got into tech, and then got into customer success. She wanted to move to Bali, and it took her about 6 months to find her first remote job. And she sent about 100 applications. And then she left that role because the hours weren't right for her. And then she came to Remote Rebellion and she said, I want to go through the program. We met and she found a great role within 3 months. And I think she ended up only doing like half the number of applications. I think it was something like 40 applications instead of 100. So she got half the time and half the number of applications. And that inspired her to help others unlock that freedom. And she's going to be working with you guys in the bootcamp. And then you've got Seppi, who went from being stuck at 35 to like redefining her life in Spain. So Seppi's from the US. She was living in Texas, and everything was great, but she just felt that stuck. And she dreamed of moving abroad, but she thought that she was too old, and she took the leap anyway. And fast forward 10 years, and she's She's built a fulfilling life in Spain. We actually met in Bulgaria last year, and she's wonderful. She's got this great community. She hit refresh community, and there's thousands of women that have been redesigning what's possible after 30. So here's what you're going to discover when you join the bootcamp, just summarizing what we've gone through. There's the freedom framework to successfully land remote work that aligns with your values, where to find real remote and work from anywhere jobs and freelance gigs, the ways to get recruiters and hiring managers reaching out to you with opportunities, how to apply so that you get invited to interviews and you get referrals and introductions and land your dream remote job, and then how to navigate those complexities of moving abroad. So we've designed it to fit around your busy schedule, and I'm going to drop this in here so you can see this yourself. So let me get rid of that poll first. So, oh, the poll isn't showing up on my side, so I can't get rid of the poll, I'm afraid. Sorry, guys. That's weird that it doesn't show up. So let me add in this page that I'm going through. So for those of you who like to read along, that's cool. What's your question here? I've got a question here from Jamie. Sonia, she mentioned. Okay, let me go through it. So day one, in the morning, so this is all in EST times. This 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., you'll get clarity on exactly what you want. You'll learn how to navigate the salary differences and knowing how to ask for what you want. And then creating a proper job search strategy. So improving your confidence, discover what's possible and what's realistic, and learn how to shout about what you actually have to offer. And then you'll uncover the 5 places to find 100% remote jobs that are outside of LinkedIn. And then you get to ask all of your burning questions to myself and to Erin on the Q&As. In the afternoon, you'll get a peek behind the curtain from a recruiter's perspective on what they're really looking for in your resume, and you'll come away with a winning remote resume that gets you interviews and a template that you can quickly adapt for future roles as well. And then day 2 is the personal branding and how to get referrals and introductions. So you'll get an understanding of the importance of your personal brand in this competitive job market and how to get an edge over applicants, and discover how to optimize LinkedIn so that recruiters contact you with opportunities. And then where to network, how to network effectively and get a chance to break off, ask your questions. And then this in the afternoon is when we do our 2-hour resume review. So there's no fluff, real-time feedback, and I'll be brutally honest as well. And then the day 3 is your whole session with Seppi that's going to go through, like I mentioned before, tax, legal, contractual, housing struggles, how she did it. And you'll hear from other women who have moved abroad in their 30s and how they did it as well. So there's some case studies here of testimonials of people who have done it, and everything that you're going to get when you join the bootcamp as well. Like I said, the limited price is for 24 hours, and then it will go up. We want to reward action takers. So thank you so much to those 8 lovely women who have signed up already. Now, for those of you who are still thinking about it and still on the fence, you have got some time. You've got 23 hours now to make sure you get in before that price increases. And I've given you my email address. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. So I'm going to stop sharing now and come on to here. And I just want to thank you all for your time. I really appreciate you all being here, and especially those of you who are still here to the end, even though we've gone over. It is 1:30 in the morning for me, so I hope you'll appreciate if I'm dropping out and I'm saying thank you. You've got my email address. I will get to it first thing tomorrow morning if you've got any questions. And thank you for your time. Thank you for being here and for choosing to invest in your future. Instead of just dreaming about something and thinking about it, you're here, you're taking action, and you're actually doing something about it. So well done. Thank you all so much, and have a lovely rest of your day, rest of your evening, and we'll speak to you very soon. Ciao.